2 trailers within a week of each other. Capcom, you spoil us. That's right, another Monster Hunter Wilds trailer has dropped, as you've probably seen already. We get a decent amount of information in this that we didn't already have, but it's not quite as juicy as the first one we got a week ago. I'll do a little bit of pausing, I think, not quite as much as my last video, and we'll do some thoughts on what we get to see in this after it. But enough preamble, let's get straight into it. All right. We'll get a good look here at some new guys. Better look in just a second.
Over there!
Some NPC action, and there it is. All right, our first proper look at the monster that is a brand new Leviathan called Balahara, I believe is how you pronounce it. This thing is wild looking. Following the trend that we've seen already with the monsters in this game compared to previous entries, it looks pretty alien, I suppose. It's got... I don't think it has any discernible eyes. Maybe on the side of the head there, but I'm not 100% sure. But it does have the clam eyes running down each of its jaws, which is terrifying, absolutely horrifying. But this thing looks sick. Leviathans are back, as we'll see in this whole trailer. Basically, this is the monster that gets the to be front and center of this entire trailer. So we'll get a lot of action shots coming up. I don't know what I can say, really. I'm glad to see Leviathans are back. It seems to be this low to the ground Leviathan like Lagiacrus, so who knows? Maybe we're getting Lagiacrus back. Please, God. You get to see this thing interact in quite a few different ways with the hunter, but let's keep it going and see what else it can do.
Why are you here?
You can't do this alone.
Cutscene, talking hunter, more talking hunter.
We need to shake them off! Follow me! Yeah! Here it comes!
There's too many of them.
And we're into more mounted combat. I'll just pause for a second there. Obviously, we get our fully voiced hunter front and center in a cutscene. We sort of got a little taste of it in the last one, but that was holding a conversation with an NPC. Obviously, we've got an NPC out in the wild as well, which is sort of been played with. Obviously, you could take followers in Monster Hunter Rise, and you saw the odd NPC in World with some of the Wyverians and that sort of thing around the maps. But I'll get more into my thoughts on this little segment that we're about to see at the end. So hang in there. We'll keep it going. More multiple monsters chasing. There's got to be like 4 or 5 of these things in this entire sequence, maybe more. Mounted combat for melee weapons. Mounted combat for ranged weapons. And here we go. Very cool.
As I feared, it picked up our scent.
I'll handle it. You find someplace safe.
Thank you.
All right, we'll pause on this horrifying little shot of the Balahara and its many eyes along its jaws there. Okay, so a little bit to unpack there. That segment obviously seemed a little bit scripted, in my opinion, and I not super chuffed about that. But again, at the end of the video, I'll talk more. We get more interaction with the NPCs, and I think this is the start of the hunt proper. We also get shown that there's obviously in this map something akin to what we had in the Wildspire Waste in Monster Hunter World, where there's a cave system underneath the sand dunes because a environmental hazard was formed by the monster, the sinkhole thing. Hunter got sucked in, fell through it, and now we're in this underground cave. So, multi-layered maps seem to be making a return. We saw some caves with the frog guy, Chatacabra, I think is his name, in the previous video, but I think this is a confirmation. It is, in my eyes anyway, that we've got this entire cave system to work with underneath the desert section. So yeah, it's cool to see some environmental hazards that are made by the monsters, not just rocks and predetermined sections of the map. So it'll be interesting to see how regular this occurs, and we will get to see some Balahara interaction with the terrain in a little bit. So I'll let that play out. Love the way this thing moves. This is really cool. The way it's climbed up there. More interaction with the sand, the sinkhole, sorry. More mounted combat. All right, I'll freeze on this awesome shot because you all know what's about to happen. And I just want to quickly talk about, we do see lots of action shots of the Leviathan there. We see it, two of them wrapping around at the same time. One of the Doshagumas, the dog, lion, bear thing. We see it climbing up and interacting with the train, wrapping around this big pillar that almost looked man-made to me. So they're all sort of interesting little details that show that there's quite a lot of environmental interaction going on with these monsters. That cannot have been a particularly easy thing to code. So I hope it feels organic and it doesn't feel too scripted. Like, oh, okay, Balahara is going to climb up this pillar every single time we're next to it. You know, I hope it feels organic, is the main thing. Lots of mounted combat going on. Have some thoughts on that. And obviously, some interaction with the sinkhole. The sinkhole was, sinking. And the hunter wasn't just hopelessly trapped. They were running out of it. So obviously there's some way to get out of those. But the spiciest part of the trailer is about to happen, so let's do that now. The big guy. All right, we'll freeze on that shot because that is unbelievable. Electric Dragon, very reminiscent of Astalos, I think. People are comparing it to Shigara Magala as well. I don't necessarily agree. It's got enough going on that's different. It certainly seems like a wyvern instead of an elder dragon. It's got a flying wyvern, I should say. It looks like it's got 2 legs, 2 wings to me, and it stands on those wings again, akin to how Astalos kind of does. It's got these horns on its head that move around, and it looks like when it's fully charged, they rotate forward. And just blast their target like a railgun out of like some science fiction thing. It's pretty sick. It's almost akin to, it's on par with like Valstrux in terms of how they've integrated some clearly mechanical science fiction concept into an organic monster. There's some theories that this is the flagship. I don't necessarily think that it is. I get more the feeling that whatever each of the environments will be in each of the maps, we're going to have, I don't know, an apex monster that works really well, is either empowered by these weather events, causes them. If they're not Elder Dragons, I don't think they're causing them. But yeah, it basically does a whole lot better inside these weather events, even if it like only shows up at all in the intense weather events, because we are getting one for each map according to the website. There will be intense weather in each of the maps, and I do want to do a video on that, so that should be coming soon, just talking about that concept and theorizing what we might see. So this is our first and only little teaser of this new monster. Gonna play a big part in the story, according to what was said by the series producer Ryozo, and yeah, looks sick from what little few seconds we get to see it. Village attacks.
The hunter is here. Just watch.
More hunter cutscene. And we get a sick little freeze frame there before the title pops up. So the main little detail that I pulled from that was that there's a line that says Doshagama is attacking the village. I don't know if that's a throwback, a flashback. I don't think it is, because the flashbacks had like a vignette in the last trailer. It seems to be in real time. So the implication is that 1, there is a village, there is a hub. We're not just going to be on the sand ship. And 2, monsters can attack it, which is pretty cool. If we've got some form of siege that builds on, maybe it builds on rampages in a more organic way. I don't know, but it should be interesting to see. And there's our title card. Yet again, reminding us we have to wait till 2025. And that's sort of it. That's all we got for this trailer. It's certainly shorter than the last one by about a minute. Not quite as much, not quite as juicy, I don't think, so I didn't really have as much to say. I will say that when I first watched it, I was a little bit apprehensive, whereas the previous trailer certainly got me very excited. There was something about this one that felt a little bit off, and I don't think that sentiment was unique to me. Not to say I didn't like what I saw. I loved what I saw, but there was a few details that just felt a bit off. First of all, it feels like it should have just been part of the previous trailer, shortened down the scenes and just included all in one trailer. I don't know why we went for two. I don't know why they were just a week apart. Just merge it into one longer trailer and present it all together. I guess because I had two events a week apart. I don't know. I'm not a marketing guy. It just felt weird. The second thing was that we are getting a lot of footage of this mounted combat. And I'm not super thrilled about that footage. My favorite footage was what we saw of the hunter, you know, boots on the ground, using that new focus mode. That's what we saw in the last trailer. And this was almost exclusively that mounted combat on that brand new, the secret, whatever, however that's pronounced. Not super into it. I wasn't a big fan of the canines in the in Monster Hunter Rise. I sort of ditched them for felines eventually, and they were just, but they were fine because they were just to get you from point A to point B in these really big maps, right? So that was their purpose. They weren't combat focused. They would attack, but you weren't sitting on them attacking monsters and all that sort of thing. So I'm not super into the mounted combat. Maybe I will be when we get hands on it, but we're just seeing a lot of footage of it. You know, we've got all up something to the tune of 6 minutes of continuous footage. Some of it is cutscenes, some of it is gameplay, but we're just seeing a lot of it, and I just want to see more. I want to see more weapon variation. We're just seeing greatsword. Don't get me wrong, love the greatsword, favorite weapon 100%, but I want to see more of what's going on. We're also getting heavy bowgun, of course, but, you know, show us some mounted lance combat. That'd be sick, like cavalry. Show us charge blade combat. Show us just a little bit more. Obviously, this is the second trailer, third technically if you include the teaser, so there's a lot more to come. I will say that I do really like how they are sort of taking it easy with showing off the monsters. We've only seen, not including Rathalos in the teaser trailer, 3 large monsters, Dashagama, Chatakabra, and now Balahara. So it's good to see that we're just getting those sort of piecemeal, and I hope that there's a good amount that is kept, you know, secret or just as a surprise for the final release of the game. We don't just get shown everything out the gate. Maybe 1 or 2 new maps and then leave the rest would be ideal to me, I think. And the designs of these monsters is really interesting. We've seen a fanged beast, a amphibian, and a leviathan, and a quick little peek of a flying wyvern. But in terms of the ones that have been featured properly, that's what we've seen. So this is really interesting. We've seen no bird wyverns except a little snippets of those little raptor guys that were in the last trailer. We've seen no fanged wyverns, no lizards or anything like that. So I'm really liking the art direction. Actually, I'm really liking the vibe. I'm a little bit apprehensive about the mounted combat. And one more thing that I was apprehensive about was that little segment after the hunter swoops in to help the guy out on the mounted, who's getting chased by the Balahara. It felt super scripted, right? Why is it a gameplay segment at all? You see a cutscene, the hunter swoops in, you get to play as you run through the desert, and then you get sucked into the sinkhole, and another cutscene plays that is scripted. So it just seems... I hope there's not too much of that. I hope there's not too much of that cinematic feel, because I really think it's going to impact the gameplay. Yeah. I did voice my concern of that in the last trailer as well, but I just... That segment of running through the desert, how is that anything if not nothing? Because you know it's going to end with getting sucked into the sinkhole. And if you've got a wide open map, how do they guarantee you go into the sinkhole if they don't just railroad you into the sinkhole to play the next cutscene? You know what I'm saying? Am I crazy? I don't know. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video. Lots of Monster Hunter Wild stuff coming. I'm going to do a few theory crafting videos, I think. That'll just be a bit of fun. So stay tuned for those. And yeah, the wait for 2025 is going to be so long. And I just hope that it releases early in 2025 and not like December, because that's like 18 months away. And I don't know if I can last that long. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you liked the video, why not subscribe to the channel and share it with a friend if you think they'd like it too, and hit that like button so I get some sweet, sweet engagement. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite part of the footage so far has been. And yeah, that's about it. I'll see you on the next video, guys. Catch you later.